In this video, what we're going to be covering is the products and services and sales. Now, in this particular screen, we're coming from the main menu, and obviously you can pick any one of the different screens in here to go to from the main menu. Let's go ahead and click on the products and services and go visit that location. Now, in the products and services, the first thing you're going to see is this particular portal record. And what this is you can, one, go ahead and view any of the items that are in the products and services as far as the individual line items. If you need to edit them, or if you have to delete one of them from this screen, you would delete it using this particular portal screen. If you go into the main booking area, you'll see that there's a button at the top of the screen that will take you to the products and service main screen. You can click here, and in the products and services main screen, and I'm going to kind of go through a brief description of why before we start looking at the fields. Why would you have this particular screen? Well, this is what feeds the invoice system and allows you to pick either a service or a product that you're going to be offering to your clients. Now, in this particular application, the first thing is the product or service. So you would enter that information into the field. The next thing would be the product type or pet type that you're providing this service or product for. Now, obviously, if you went into a pet shop and you were buying something, you would see that they probably have, let's say, dog food. Dog food is for a small animal, medium size, and a full size animal, or a puppy. With birds, there are different breeds and versions of birds that have different kinds of feeding things that they provide for them, depending on if they're pellets or seeds or whatever. So this information, these first three fields, allow you to break that information down as far as how you would put this in there. This would be the service. This would be the type of animal that can be edited from the pet type. And I just put some sample stuff in here. You're free to edit this when you're setting up your application to change these or make them whatever they are. Once you start using them, do not delete them or edit them afterward, or you'll do what we call, you'll make this an orphan, where the next time somebody comes here, this would be considered an orphan because it's no longer included in the drop-down system. The breed is something that is left open, so you can type just about anything you want in there. You might want to put, the generic breed that the animal is, or a mix, or whatever that kind of breed might be. Like if it were a parrot, for example, it might be an African gray, which the food for an African gray is unique. You could have comments about the particular type of animal, certain things you should be aware of or do when you're taking care of the animal, like maybe they're susceptible to certain allergies from certain products, or things that may be harsh on them as far as whatever it is you're using as a product. If you're doing a service, this could explain what the service is encompassing. Do you do a trim, a bath, or whatever it might be, trimming nails, cleaning their teeth, whatever it might be, you can put the information that's covered in that. So if a customer ever has a question, you can explain to them what that coverage is. If it's a product, you could paste in a picture and from here, or insert a picture. The same thing goes for on the iPad, where you can insert a picture from the main library for the product that you're talking about. If you wanted to, you could also include a picture of an animal that's relative to the pet type. That's your choice. Down here is the product services status. This is more about the inventory level and situation. Is it available? Is the order been canceled? Is it low stock? Do you have to do an order? Is it out of stock? Is it pending? You can see there's a misspelling there that needs to be corrected, and that's quite easy to do by clicking on this and going in and fixing it. Is it a product you received, but it was damaged when you received it, and you're not going to use it? You're going to send it back on what they call a return authorization, and that's what an RMA is. And then you have a scheduled order, where you're actually scheduled to order something on an ongoing basis. And then there's a service, not a product. What that would mean for this particular thing, as you see, that's what's in here. It's flagged as a service because there's no products to order for this. The standard cost is actually what you're charging the client, that shows up alongside of the actual name. If you're putting it into the input screen for an invoice, you're going to see this plus whatever this dollar value is minus the dollar sign. That gives you a hint exactly what the price should be when you're adding it into the purchase area. If you actually rent products like a cage or something like that, you could have a rental rate for this, and then this would be a product type rental, and then the period that you rent it for, a 24 months per day, per week, per year, and then the cost for that particular cycle, if it's a year, date, whatever it is, or a month. Now, down at the bottom of the screen, you have a service billing data. This is a very interesting part of the products and services. Every time that you do a transaction in a invoice input area back on the booking screen, it's going to add that information to the appropriate product or service here to show you where they actually used this product or service and the duration and everything of how it was used. It's going to summarize the dollar value, and then it's going to calculate the summary for the total amount of hours that were used. You can go to the portal record, which is the individual record by line, and do a find based on a certain service or whatever, and look at a period of time based on the date field with using a date calculation, and see how many services in a month you did of one kind, or how many products you sold of one kind, and summarize it in that screen. And it would give you an idea of what your actual inventory flow is, or what the services were for any one month based on the type of animal. And this gives you an idea of where you're spending your time, or where you're getting your income from products that you may offer. If this were a product, then obviously there would be the quantity of the product. In this case, it's either quantity, or in this case, it's a time thing for billing time. You do not have to enter any of this in here. This automatically comes from the input booking area, and it's added for you so that the invoiced information is actually included in each record in the services and products area. So it makes it quite simple for you to not have to manage this. As far as the products are concerned, you can put pet product supplier information in here, as far as to maybe a different set of vendors that you have in here, and what the kind of product it is by product name, and maybe even a inventory part number if you have to have that, or information if you're tracking a differential in cost, where sometimes you order and they're fairly expensive and other times where they're not. And to make this rounded out, you may use this information, you may not. But if this is a product that you're selling, the product page for this particular case, you could put in there the actual product that you're purchasing and the purchase information for that product. In this case, I just threw some information in there as an example. You don't actually, obviously, do a wash and dog thing where you actually have a product in there, but I've just put this to show you an example. If this were the pet shampoo and we were in the pet shampoo screen, then this would be what you'd be putting in there for each time you ordered that product. This would give you a running history of the consumption of all your products, the running cost, the number of individual orders as far as the sum of ordered and the sum of received. That dollar sign is not accurate. That'll be taken out. So what you have in here is an inventory system, and if you want to look at the individual portal records, the portal records will show you the information from the portal and provide you with the data where you can actually do finds in here and look for the product that you've purchased in this particular case, and get a grouping by purchase order of the records that were purchased with any one time, or the purchase by an individual item where you want to look at it and see how many times it's been ordered and when it was ordered. That same information is on the global screen, but if you're coming in here and say, for example, you did a transaction, it was incorrect and you wanted to delete it, this is the place where you delete it using the delete button. To go back to the product screen again, or to the services, click that button, it'll bring you back here. Now, if you want to go from record to record, you can use the next and previous buttons here to go back and forth between the records. And of course, the video you're viewing, you saw it from clicking on this icon. This shows you that this is an open record where you can add new records to it, so this is a parent record. If you need to go back to the booking screen, you can click this button here to go back to the booking screen. If you have any questions about this area, you can go ahead and contact me. If you want to add a new product, by the way, you use this to add it. If you wanted to jump from here back to the edit screen, where you want to see something in the edit screen as far as the services, after you've come over here to look at what kind of coster is involved, you can click this, and the last edit screen that you're on, it would take you back to that screen. Okay, thank you for taking this video.